So can we keep the control every second of the day? Rama proved, Lord Rama proved. It's hard to say Lord Rama because he never declared he was Lord until towards the end, right? But there's a deeper reason for that. That's because Ravana was probably the greatest meditator of that time. More than even Hanuman, more than even Rama. Yeah. Right? He was we all know he was a Brahmin, right? He is the great grandson of Lord Rama, right? Extremely knowledgeable, extremely powerful. But he had a boon. He prayed to Lord Shiva. So Lord Shiva said, "What do you want?" He said, "I don't want death." So Shiva said, "It's not possible. You have to pick a way to die." Then he says, "Oh yeah, I cannot be killed by any god." That is what he prays. Then Shiva deliberately asks him, "What about man? What about humans?" He says, "They're useless. They can't touch me." That's the subtle reason why Rama never declared. And he always remained, right? If you look at Aurangzeb, he killed his own dad or imprisoned him to get the kingdom. Don't you think Rama was powerful to imprison Dasharatha? If he wanted the kingdom, there are so many millions of kings who did that.
But
when they disagreed with their own dad.
If he wanted to set standards that father is a father, respect, regard, even Kakai was like everybody thinks Kakai was a better woman. She sent him to jungle for 14 years of exile, but I think that was all destined by them. It was a plan. If we read Untold story of Sita, we will know that how it was all planned and how powerful Sita herself was. She could easily say, "I don't want to go. I'm a queen. I'm a princess. I walked into as a queen. You did not marry me for this." But she showed that respect and regard for the family and how we carry our family. So a lot to be learned from there.
Absolutely, absolutely. So I think there are many points you raised which are very important to understand from Dharma. There's only one person who needed to go to the forest. We all know that, right? That was Rama, right? Why did Sita have to go? She chose. Why did Lakshmana have to go? He chose. And what did Lakshmana's wife do? She's like, "I will sleep for 14 years, so you can stay away." So even she was doing her duty. And can we imagine sleeping for 14 years? They were all, great yogis back then. It's possible for them. We cannot survive without food for like 3 times a day or 2 times a day. If you don't have water or food, we can't survive. In fact, we were discussing about food. How come some people don't even drink water during Navratri, right? We were having that conversation. So just the second, I was telling him, just the second chakra that we have, which is Swadhisthana, right? Swadhisthana chakra. Once you conquer Swadhisthana chakra, you gain control over your sleep and food. Okay? Muladhara chakra, first one, you gain control over?
Yeah.
Very good. Fears, any kind of instincts, any kind of insecurities. That's the first, because it's the grounding. Okay? If you plant a seed somewhere on the wall, will it grow? No. It's solid grounding. So for us to evolve spiritually, that's the point. But I'll connect it back to the shloka, and then I'll talk through the topic. So first things first, what Lord Krishna. So it started with Vishada Yoga, and Yoga Vasishtha or Vasishtha Gita started with Vairagya Prakarana. Rama said, "I'm just leaving. I don't want this kingdom." He said, I'm born Vairagi and I want to give up the kingdom. I just want to go meditate. I want to live in the bliss of the divine. That's what he said. Our sister said, "No, you have a duty. You're born into as a Kshatriya. So you have I think, what's your name, madam? Surbi, right? Surbi said, Rama set standards. What do we call those standards in Sanatana Dharma? It's in the word itself, Dharma, right? And the best title given to Rama, the best praise given to Rama came from a demon actually, not even from another god. So Maricha, when Ravana sends him to say, "Hey, go as this deer to go kidnap Sita Devi," he says, "Who? Where am I going?" He says, "Rama." He says, "Oh my God, I already have experience with Rama once, and just with one bow, one arrow, he hit me. I fell thousands of miles away. and I survived luckily. I'm not going again. And he says, Ramo Vikrahavan Dharma. This is the word, this is a phrase from Ramayana. Ramo Vikrahavan Dharma. That means Rama is the embodiment, is the living, standing example of Dharma. You cannot find anything that he did which is adharmic. So if we needed a standard, like you said, we don't have to look anywhere else. But Lord Krishna, it's very hard to imitate him because he had to play in the political times, right? There were a lot of gimmicks that he had to work through. That's because of Sukshma Dharma, not because he was a con artist. There's a Dharma, there's a Sukshma Dharma. So Krishna reveals that. But without going deeper, the whole topic is, why did Krishna say this sloka in 12:12 and what does it mean? So it started with Vishada Yoga, right? Then started the Karma Yoga, then Jnana Yoga, then Karma Sannyasa. Then finally 12th chapter, right? After 1, 2, 3, 4, 12th chapter. Then in 11th chapter, he actually shows us Vishwarupa, right? Vishwarupa Sandarshana. Happens in 11th chapter. Before that, in 10th chapter, he teaches about Vibhuti. He keeps asking, who are you? Who is this? Who is that? So how do we know where God is and who is God? So Krishna says, I am Indra among gods. I am lion among animals, right? I am the Atma among the body, mind, spirit combination. So he keeps this is called Vibhuti Yoga, right? Vibhutis are attributes of God. Why am I bringing all these into the topic of Sewa? Because it's all about self-awareness, right? First of all, we are all sitting here, right? We all think, if somebody asks me, who are you? I'll say I'm Praveen. I work at some company. I have a wife and 2 kids at home. I am a 50-plus-year-old male, right? I have many identities. I'm a brother, I'm a son, I'm a friend, right? Just like me, all of you have identities. We have 30, 40, 50 identities. Each identity gives you a certain tendency because you have to fulfill that identity. If you think you're a mom, you're immediately thinking you have to feed kids. That's the first thing, right? Whether I'm sick, rain, shine, work, no matter how it is, feeding is Dharma, right? And nobody does it better than a mom, right? Because you're fulfilling your Dharma. Is somebody obligating you? But at work, we know what we have to do. Some days do we do our Dharma diligently? Do we do our Dharma to our spouse, to our parents, to our siblings, to the community, to the rishis, to the Pitru Devatas, to the Devatas? There are 5 types of runas we have to fulfill once you take birth. These are from Upanishads and Puranas. I'm not making anything up. You have 5 responsibilities once you take birth. Towards the world, towards your Pitru Devatas or ancestors. Without them, you won't even have the beautiful nose that you have, or the intelligent mind. Genetics, right? That's why we pray to Pitru Devatas. And then there's rishis, because they gave us Dharma. And Rama followed that path. Unless we have these people, we can't. But why am I connecting all these? So Krishna explains to get Arjuna out of the sorrow and make him fight, because without him, nobody can kill the demons. Because they were acting like demons, even though they were cousins, right? The inner demons need to be vanquished. For that, inner strength has to be awakened. Arjuna did not lack that basically. He had physical prowess, but he didn't have the inner strength. So you had to teach them, right? So just like driving a car, if you know how to drive a car well, you drive it well, right? So Arjuna needed to drive that day in the battle for those 18 days of battle that happens. So the net of it is, he teaches him Karma Yoga. Okay, you have to do your karma. We all know the slokas of Karma Yoga. Then he teaches him Jnana Yoga, then Sannyasa Yoga, then, Vibhuti, this is what I am. Then he shows his entire form. Then Arjuna literally is in tears. He's like, oh my God, I'm not able to see this fierce form. Please come back to me. He says, Sakha. He says, I want to see you as a friend. I cannot imagine this Virat Rupa of yours. I just cannot. Seeing all this fire out of you consuming everybody. People are getting born and dying. It's like unbelievable sight. As I'm saying this, I'm getting goosebumps. When I learned the Bhagavad Gita 11th chapter as I'm chanting, I just cannot chant normally. It's so powerful. I recommend all of you to take the time, Read the 11th chapter and with the meaning. It's just incredible. Just incredible. So all this happened. And so finally, Arjuna asks in 12th chapter, which is Bhakti Yoga, right? Which is very aptly placed after, it did not start with Bhakti Yoga. Bhagavad Gita, second chapter is not Bhakti Yoga. It starts with Karma, Jnana and all, then Bhakti. Bhakti's yoga chapter comes after he showed his real form. And there's a connection there. Because we do murti worship, right? I don't call it idols, because idol has a negative connotation. I call it, it's murti worship, because we feel that's an embodiment of God, right? Why do we do murti worship? Because we are connected to physical. We are physical beings. We need to connect to physical ideas. It's hard to connect to abstract, right? And that's why once he showed his real form, having that bhakti, having that devotion, having that surrender, the form becomes easier. Why do we love Balakrishna, right? Because it's the form that attracts, the divine form of mother that attracts, right? Not the Durga form necessarily, but the Lalita Devi. Okay, so after coming to 12th chapter, Arjuna asks, okay, you've told me Bhakti Yoga, you've told me about knowledge, right? You've taught me about Dhyana, meditation, you've taught me about Jnana, which is knowledge, you've taught me about Bhakti. Which of these is greatest? So I was very keen to know there's about 2 or 3 places where Krishna gives these secrets out. It doesn't mean one is less important, the other is more important, but he definitely is. These are Krishna's words, because it says Bhagavan Vacha. So Krishna said this. It never says Krishna Vacha. It said never in the entire Bhagavad Gita, you will not see Krishna Vacha. You'll say Bhishma Vacha, Sanjaya Vacha, Dhritarashtra Vacha. You'll also see Arjuna Vacha, like many times. And by the way, this is Bhagavad Gita is not like I hate to compare with other religions, but in other religions, it's like God ordained. If you don't follow, you go to hell, right? Very simple. You either listen to me or you go to hell, suffer in hell. Very simple. In this, Krishna is saying, Arjuna is asking. If you look at Bhagavad Gita, more than 100 slokas of the 700, close to it, Arjuna is asking questions and debating. He's like, no, I don't agree. What about this? What about this? What about this? In other places, not possible. So we should be very grateful to be part of a democratic religion or Dharma where debate is allowed, questioning is allowed, right? I mean, first time I was learning about Gita, I just fell in tears because it's like, just imagine he's God himself coming from this immortal worlds, not even the worlds which diminish, and he's just sitting there trying to explain, still explaining. Because it took 700 slokas to get that fear out of it. Finally, Arjuna says, I am promising you, all my fears and doubts are gone. Because Krishna keeps saying, Chinna samshaya, get rid of your doubts, get rid of your doubts. You'll see that constantly throughout Bhagavad Gita. So in that sloka, I'll come to the sloka now. Because this grounding is important to understand the power of the sloka. He says, Shreyo hi jnanam abhyasa. More than abhyasa. Abhyasa means anything that we do mechanically, repeatedly. Okay? We do pujas. We do a lot of things mechanically, right? We go to temples. I'm talking spiritually, not anything else, right? So than regular abhyasa of something, jnana is more important. Being aware. So I can know the entire 1,000 names of Lalita Devi. Because I know it, let's say 10 years ago. Now if I sit down, I don't have to work hard. I can be distracted watching Netflix, still say all the 1,000. But will I get everything? Will it elevate me? Will I have a raise of frequencies, which is the purpose of any kind of dhyana? Like Anil sir was helping us with the meditation, right, guiding us. Why? Because collectively, unknowingly, just by quiescing the body and mind, unknowingly, because the nature of the soul, it automatically connects with divine. So Atma Paramatma is always a resonance. We pull it down to this mundane human world. That's why we are distracted. It's like I was telling somebody, will your laptop get charged if your cord is hanging here? It doesn't. That's what we do. We try to connect to the world. It doesn't give anything. It only drains. Only drains. Laptop is only getting drained, right? Only getting drained. Unless we connect to the wall, which is what we did. Last 1.5 hours of guided meditation, we connected to a source unknowingly. We didn't even ask, oh God, please connect me. No, we just sat, focused on the breath. It shows that our body is already built a certain way to elevate us. We are the ones who are the worst enemies of our own selves because we are forcing ourselves into a different view. Okay? So it's all about awareness. It's all about what you want to connect, what you want to draw from. So the higher frequencies. So more than regular rote practice, abhyasa, which is important. Krishna versus abhyasa is wrong. Abhyasa is critical, otherwise you won't have the discipline to sit. Like how many of you sat continuously for half an hour without moving? If you have asana siddhi, you can get possible. That's only possible with abhyasa, with practice. Without practice, you can't even sit with meditation without your leaning on something, right? Even if you're leaning, we keep constantly moving. That goes away with us with abhyasa. Abhyasa is important, but as we evolve, Krishna is trying to take us, Lord Krishna is taking Bhagavan, is trying to take us into that realm, which are beyond these. How many words exist? Which get created and dissolved? Anybody? How many total number of words? This is Bhuloka, right? This is one word. Okay. How many other lokas exist? Take a guess.
3, 7.
3, 7, 14. Very good.
Yeah, they say, but there is millions, billions of.
There are multiverses, but we are part of a system which is 14 lokas. We are part of. Right now, it's about awareness. Where are you right now? Right? That was the topic I wanted to talk, but I'll get to that. Hopefully, somebody tell me if I'm getting closer. So I don't want to take too much time. Because Savita will remind me how much I tortured them for blinking. No, but we actually had nice satsangs during that time. It was amazing. Okay, so coming back to the topic here, more than abhyasa, if you want to evolve, do it with Gyana. Okay, that means be aware, have the knowledge. So just saying the 1,000 names, actually every name that you say, just imagine if you understood the meaning, you're experiencing that. Can you even say the next name? Sometimes I struggle when I say the namas because you have to do it in time. If you're doing it in a Phala, right? We had it at Lakshmi's house recently. And it's like a time thing, you're doing it for the next 5 hours or so. But if you were to do it quietly, just imagine if you do even the 108 names of your favorite god, understand what it means. Once you do it with awareness, it's hard to go to the second. It's like you feel a sense of surrender to the first one. You feel so insignificant with just one name, saying, where is that God? Where am I? Why should that God sitting somewhere bother about me at all? Why should God elevate us at all? We are here because of our doing. Now we should be grateful that we are living in such a beautiful home. It is because of our past punya. I was telling Lakshmi and Jitin the same thing when they had satsang. If you are living in a beautiful home, that means you're trading your punya from past life, your dana that you gave to others. So if we live in a beautiful home and don't continue the dana, we know where we're going to fall back next life. Very simple, right? This is bhoga word in a way. It distracts you, it draws you away. But staying grounded like Savita is awesome, right? Because I know her. So that's very important to not let these things distract us. So then doing just mechanical practice, doing it with Jnana is more important. Okay? Extremely important to know that. So we have to make an effort to understand. Just like you can just drive a car knowing 3 or 4 things, like we were talking. Your brake control, accelerator control, your steering control, and listening to GPS. If you know these 4 things, any of us, and looking at the rear view mirrors, etc., you can drive a car, just 4 or 5 things, right? But you don't have to know how the engine works. You don't have to know how the fuel injector works. You don't have to know how the silencer works. You don't. But if you know, you will not rashly, some mechanical engineers like us, we actually studied how a car works. You can be a better driver, right? So similarly, if you know how the body works, you can operate better through the body, right? Because I can lose my hand, I'm still Praveen. I can lose any part of my body, I'm still Praveen. So where am I? Where is Praveen? Where is Savita? You have to realize that. Okay? So coming back to the topic. So Jnana is important. That means we need to understand. Living and practicing with understanding. So Krishna says, more than just practice, practice with understanding is better. Okay? Gyaan. Then, more than Jnana, Dhyana is more important. Dhyana means meditation, what we did. Raj Yoga, right? The Ashtanga Yoga. So we need asana for yama niyama. So unless you follow the do's and don'ts, standards, the rules that Subhi reminded us, right? Unless we follow that, we won't have that stillness because mind always reminds you of you did this bad. So niyama, yamas are don'ts. Niyamas are do's. So yama, niyama, asana, pranayama, pratyahara, right? All those things happen when we do dharana. What did Anil sir say when he said? He said focus on your breath. Dharana means concentration, right? Focus only on the breath. So it's the fifth one. Sixth actually. Then dhyana. It automatically leads to samadhi. You don't have to ask for samadhi. You don't have to ask for experience. Some people said they drew energy. Some people said they felt a sense of calm. And did we understand? Did we even realize why people are having different experiences? Think about it. If let's say we all went and ate, right? Some of us probably had a late lunch. Will you eat more food now? Let's say you ate at 4 p.m. today. Do you think you can eat a proper meal at 7? No. But somebody who has been fasting all day, do you think they'll eat more than you? Energy is like that. We drop what we eat. So when we sit in meditation, not everybody's experience will be the same. Because somebody said, I didn't have this experience like you did. We will not. We all have our own individual journeys. But it's extremely important to pay attention to the experiences we're having. Because what you don't have, you drop. Okay? And I was having a discussion with somebody recently about how much sleep do you need, right? Yogis only sleep for 4 hours. And people who are like Yatishwaras, as we call them, like Swamiji that I follow, they don't even sleep. I mean, they're resting their body, but they're constantly working. It's called Yoga Nidra. When they say Brahma sleeps for six months, so stays awake for 6 months, half a day, basically Kalpa goes on, right? We know this whole timeline. I don't want to get into that now, digress into it. But there are things happen constantly even when we're asleep. But the whole point I'm trying to make here is how long do you need to sleep for? So I basically said, some days I sleep for like an hour or two, I'm up, I'm fresh. Some days I don't need any sleep. And Jitendra keeps making fun of me. Where is Jitendra? Okay, there he is. He keeps making fun of me that did you sleep yesterday, right? So some days you don't need sleep. Why? Because unless you exert your energies, there's nothing to draw. And this is an important part which I'll get to in a little bit after the slogan. Okay? Because living with awareness, like Krishna said, is extremely important. Okay? And Sewa is part of it, like Anilji also reminded us. And so, more than just doing abhyasa, which is just practice, manual practice, which is extremely important. It gives us discipline, gives us asana siddhi, gives us many siddhis unknowingly. Okay? More than that, doing it with jnana is important. Than that, doing it with complete focus, concentration, and the trikarna shuddhi, as we call it, right? That, body, mind, spirit, thought, word, deed, all should be focused on one activity. As we sat here, somebody said, after like 45 minutes, I felt distracted. Why? Because our karma pulls us back into this world, into thoughts, into what do I need to do tomorrow? I need to drop a kid. I need to pay my bills, whatever, right? Boss wants me to deliver something tomorrow, card, all those things will be playing in our heads, right? Karma keeps pulling. So dhyana is more important. So then if I'm doing puja, I take the example of puja. Doing puja, the Shodas Upachara. We have 16 Upacharas that we do to God, right? We invite them, wash their feet, give them clothes, after shower. Then we give them food, arati, their names, all that, right? We have an order for it. It's a Shodas Upachara. Shodasa means 16, right? 10 plus 6, 16. 16 Upacharas we do. A lot of times you only do 12 because we don't sing bhajan, we don't dance, we don't take him on, procession. Aswa, etc. Right? We don't do all of them, but we do most. Okay. But if I'm just repeating because I know the mantras, it just becomes mechanical abhyasa. Than that, jnana, do it with understanding of what you're standing. Second, more than that, being here when you're doing it is even more important. When we do pujas, where is our focus? Initially, it is here on the Devi. Then it's on guests. Okay, please sit, please eat something, please sit, right? We are focusing on what? Who should we be focusing on? Just imagine if God came and sat here. Will you even look somewhere else? Probably we won't. Some people won't even call us. It's like God for me, right? I don't want anybody else to experience this. But if we can share, even better, right? It's exactly what we're doing. Just because we cannot see, it's one of the 5 powers of God, not being visible to these eyes. But God is completely visible to us to our inner vision. And when that experience happens, tears come. You shake, you cannot even utter a word. These are experiences we have. Like somebody said, they connected and tears came out, right? It's basically the Hridaya Grandhi, right? In Lalita Sahasranamam, who is the Lord of Hridaya? Anahata. What is the sloka? For all those of you who memorize Lalita Sahasranama, Anahata Abja, it's Vishnu Grandhi Vivek, right? So Lord Vishnu controls the heart. And Rudra Grandhi is Madara. But so there are different things that bind us to this world. Those Grandhis are knots get released. So we have a lot of emotional, physical, mental, past lives, subconscious things that bind us. There's some tendencies. Some people talk a lot. Some people don't say a word. Some people get angry very quickly. Some people are quiet always and calm, more than quite calm in crisis. Why? Because these are tendencies we carry from past lives. But we have a choice to control them. So how do we have control? Krishna is explaining all in one sloka. So Arjuna asked, which yoga is more important? You have taught me so many ways of reaching you, becoming strong. Which of these is more important? He says, than mechanical practice, doing it with Jnana is important. Than that, doing it with Dhyana. Complete awareness, complete focus on the task at hand is 100%. But Arjuna already proved it, right? To Drona, everybody saw the forest, the tree, the leaves. Arjuna saw what? Only the eye of the bird. And this bird was not just here, nearby. It was way far. Okay? Some of us, even with glasses, we can't see. That's the power of it. He already had the focus. At this moment, he lost it. He had to be reminded. He had to be re-reminded. Okay? So these are all lessons for us. Arjuna was on the battlefield. This is the battlefield of life. Right? If you want to elevate ourselves, there are many Rakshasas. We don't need a neighbor or spouse to bother us. We have enough internally. We have our own enemies to fight.
We need a phone. That's it.
Huh? We just need an excuse to yell at somebody.
We just need a phone. Our
Yep,
biggest battle.
exactly. Biggest battle is with the phone these days. And our kids who carry the phones. That gives us bigger blood pressure, right? Okay. So we have done what? 3 now, right? So far. Abhyasa, Jnana, Dhyana. And then comes a sloka which baffled me for many years. And I'll be the first to tell you, I was probably one of the biggest idiot trying to learn Bhagavad Gita. I still am, still trying to learn. But I think I'm growing slowly, one step at a time of the millions of steps that I have to take. And the next line, I'll just say the phrase. I want to know from you what you understand by it. Krishna says, than Dhyana, which is than meditation that we just did, karma phala tyaga is even more important. So I want to know from all of you what the karma phala tyaga means, because it connects to the topic that Anil sir asked me to, discuss a few things about.
Whatever you do, don't expect a thing. Phala-tyagame. Karma-lanchi, dani phala-lan no.
Yeah. So do your karma, don't expect anything. So we all work for companies. Are we saying, I'm just doing my service, I don't want a paycheck? Are we doing that? No. So first rule we are breaking. Okay, what do we do with our spouses? I did this for you, you didn't do this for me. I did this for your parents, you did blah, 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 right? All these things happen. Circle of life, right? So karma phala tyaga. So that's one example. You do your karma, but What is the inner? Keep going deeper. I want to know from everyone. Anybody?
You should keep on doing your karma, and sometimes when we are doing our karma, we tend to go wander around whether we should do it or not, because when we are doing our karma, a lot of things come in front of us. Are we going to lie? Because like when you go to the shopkeeper, he's like, oh, this is $10. No. Even you bought it for like $8, he'll say, no, I bought it for 20 and I'm only charging you 25. So he's not doing his karma right. He's lying to get the money out of the customer. But if he doesn't do it, how's he going to earn his bread and butter?
Karma.
Yeah. So anybody else?
We're doing the best on every action you do.
What do you mean by best? So karma, phala, tyaga.
I mean,
The three words
to
there,
again
right?
connect the dots with your nature and all this of what exactly you said mentioned, right? So when you say the best means, you have to, it resonates again, the life cycle of the human, what has to be done. I think you have to, your intention should be always, should be connected to the divine spiritual thing, I would say. Again, I'm not able to
Yeah, I
articulate
think
very well, but when you say do your best means, I feel that intentions are the key metaphor.
you don't need mind, right?
Yeah.
Is anybody listening on that? Then they may need.
I mean, they are good. I mean, they can hear.
Yeah, if they can hear, then I can't.
No, you can have it.
You'll get tired of my voice. No. Okay, so I think an important part, if I have to, rephrase it, instead of connecting to my goals, my desires, my limited being, if I connect and do everything for a greater purpose, right? That is when you are saying it's best, right? Best utilized karma. It's a very powerful statement, what you made, but do we do that all the time? Are we putting others over us all the time?
Yeah, that's how Anisa, came to the play now. I think that's how you have to get into the meditation. So that's why you have to check all the time yourself. That's how, again, it all connects to the awareness. Every time you do that, you have to check yourself, is that I'm doing right? I'm doing right. I think that's a cycle. I think
Yeah, absolutely. I think I remember what Sachin said, and also Bruce Lee. Bruce Lee said, I'm worried about the guy who practiced one kick 10,000 times than who knows 10,000 kicks.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's an extremely powerful statement. Sachin said the same thing. It's like he practiced the same cover. He was getting out to cover drives the whole year.
Yeah, I think
He did not play cover drive for next 2 years.
Yeah, I think this is a classic example. I think everybody knows about the Picasso. He is the greatest artist, right? I think one day I think he goes to the airport and he meets one lady, and we said, "Oh, Picasso, how are you? Yeah, I'm excellent, very fine. Can you draw me a picture?" She said, "I think, yeah, of course, why not?" I think she draws the picture, and that's it. I think, yeah, just give me like 500K. Said, what the heck? He said 500K. Just it took only 2 seconds for you to draw my picture. So then again, he says it took me years for me to practice to get this picture in 2 seconds. So this all resonates very well. It's all because of the way you have to read the books again. And then again, check yourself. It connects when I say all, do your very best in every action, what you do. Then again, best equals to all the universe and everything.
Yeah, though, if I take the example of what you just said, right, and equate that to, let's say I'm practicing shooting range. I hate that example, but let me persist with that. Or let's say I'm doing archery. Okay, if I have to hit the bullseye, I have to have a BS. Without that, it won't happen. Then Gyana also should be there.
Yeah.
Because I have the power, I cannot shoot at any person on the street, right? I need to know who is good, who is bad, when to use, when not to use. And then while I'm doing it, what if that person is my own cousin, but is bad? My hands will shake. What if it's my own family? Can I do it? With Dhyana, it is possible. So you can apply this to anything we do, but more than all of this, karma phala tyaga is important, is what Krishna says. So there are many ways of understanding this. Anybody else? One last. I don't want to impose you. Go ahead.
So, if a person doing when they have something, and when the person who is taking needed that, You see, so there is a difference. I don't know if that belongs to karma phala.
Meaning whether they're deserving of it or not. Is that what you're trying to say? Or
Yeah, never mind. I don't know.
Can you repeat these words again? Karma.
Phala Tyaga.
karma, karma phala. Karma means action.
Right.
Phala is result.
Tyaga
Tyaga
is
is
That's
sacrifice.
To say the example, like if I have food, if somebody else needed food, right? Me giving the food because I have, or that person is hungry and giving the food at that time. Probably.
For that, adding, don't expect that I'm giving the food. I am going to get the greatness, goodness. Don't expect that. I mean, I feel that by giving the
Yeah, I'm not expecting you to garland me or remember that. But what do we do? A lot of us are like, "Us din kiya tha maine," right? Better remember. So we're constantly reminding them. You know, even Gita says this. Upanishad say it even better. Okay, Upanishad says that you do something, you will get the result whether you like it or not, unless you do Tyaga. That is the inner meaning of it. So that means if I let's say this life, thankfully, like several of us living in the richest county in the US right now. Loudoun County is the richest. I think most of us are in Loudoun County. It's a blessing to be in such a county. Okay, at least from material richness. Spiritual richness is a whole other story. But imagine if I continue to, because I have wealth that is more than what I need, more than even what I want. Let's say I'm trying to donate, right? People do a lot of donations today, but they want to be on the stage, get garlanded, get trophies, get recognized, be this special trustee and all these names and labels, right? People crave for that. They'll get it. Okay. So Upanishad says, whatever you crave for, you'll get it. Okay. If you do Dhyana and you remember it, remind people of it, you'll get it next life. You'll be born like an Ambani because they've done a lot of it. Again, from Upanishad point of view, anybody who's born with a lot of richness has done incredible amount of Dhyana in previous lives. That is the only way you get. Not only wealth. What about intelligence? Same thing. What about beauty? Same thing. Any attribute. The 64 attributes of Divine Mother, right? Chatushtashti. The 64, they've precisely measured in Sanatana Dharma. The beauty is they haven't left anything. They've analyzed everything you can even think of. Okay, so there are 64 different attributes that we can have. That Mother God, the blessings of Mother Goddess. Some of us get a 1 or 2 and we feel, oh, I'm smartest. I'm richest, I'm the most powerful, most influential. Because we got 1 or 2. Imagine she has 64, she's not beating her chest over it. She doesn't have to. Okay, so the point here is, Karma Phala Tyaga is so powerful because if you don't do Tyaga, you'll keep getting lives. You do good, you keep getting into Punya. We get to Pitruloka, Bhuvarloka, where we can enjoy certain things. Even if you did even more danas and more satkarmas, you go to Swarloka, which is 2 worlds above us. Aswarga, right? Indra, Dikpalakas are all there. These are Bhogalokas. After you, it's like bank account. Once you deplete, what happens? You're back here. Or even lower, if you're not deserving. So Punya, those lokas are not permanent. They only exist for you to, just like here, we can enjoy the wealth of what we can enjoy the good karma of what we did in past lives, or even in this life before today. All these accumulate. The key point is, if you want to continue, if you want to be a good person and want to keep doing good, we'll keep coming back. We'll keep coming back. We'll go to higher worlds. When the punya is drained, we fall here. And if we are born into, unfortunately, here, whatever, bad company, bad family, bad practices, there's 7 underworlds that are waiting for us. Okay, so the key point is, if you don't do karma phala tyaga, there's no way to break out of this 14 worlds. So these 14 worlds have, both good and bad, happiness, sorrow, combinations. And you'll have more and more joy as we go higher and higher into the realms, right? After Bhurloka, you have Swarloka, then you have Maharloka, where, sages, they sit in meditation. Those are the ones who come here as gurus to teach us today. You see many people who give pravachanas, Siddhi yogas and so on, they're all from Mahaloka or General Loka. Apoloka, I don't think we deserve, which is one world below Brahmaloka or Satyaloka. So the key point is these 14 worlds are created by Brahma. And Brahma also gets dissolved back into Vishnu and comes back to recreate this. And Brahma's life is the same as this particular universe that we live in, which is, does anyone know exactly how many human years? It's a little more than 311 trillion human years. That is one lifetime of Brahma. That's 100 Divya samastras of Brahma. Why am I getting into all this? Because we have to make a choice. If I like this world, of ups and downs, some days joy, many days sorrow, many days confusion, many days anticipation, right? Or living in the past, yeah, we can keep coming. And that's exactly what Bhagavad Gita sloka says. If you have good and bad, Mishrama karma, you come here. If you have more bad than good, we exist below planes, nether planes. If you have higher, we go to higher planes. But if you have nothing, your bank account is zero, there's no difference between Atma and Paramatma. You become one. So there's no more these 14 words, no cycles of birth, death, of creating, destroying, dissolving, none of this. You exist always. And I used to meditate, and I asked a couple of gurus about what happens then. Okay, if I'm a Shakti, right, if I follow Mother Goddess, then there's Manidvipa, which is not these 14 words. It's an indestructible, forever existing world. Somebody does Rudram every day and follows Shiva, Lord Shiva. They go to Kailasha. Basically, it's a state of existence where there's no coming back, there's no up and down, there is no confusion. To use Swamiji's words, he says Kali Yuga means confusion. In anything and everything you do, think, act, it's confusion. Can anyone claim that you know everything that's going on anywhere? The minute you say Trump will come with some other policy, anyway. Okay, all kidding aside, the point is there is confusion, and there will be more confusion. There'll be even more confusion. In fact, what Swamiji said is, after 300 to 700 years, you just cannot imagine coming back to Bhuloka to live. And he said, unless you right now make an effort to get on some bus, Jnana bus or Dhyana bus or Karma, Phala, Tyaga bus or anything, right? Or Raja Yoga, right? Get on one bus, practice, keep practicing. That is the only way to get out of the cycle. Otherwise, you just cannot imagine. Even before you complete the word God, your tongue will be cut off. Those will be the days that will be coming in the future, near future. 700 years is not far, just a few generations. Do you want to come back to this world? At least I made my choice. Whether it happens is divine grace, but we all need to make the choice. And karma phala tyaga means that. So whatever I'm doing good, offer it to Lord Krishna. Offer it to Devi, offer it to Hanuman. Who is your Ishtadeva? Or if you don't have a God, offer it to this divine creator that's running the universe. If you're an atheist, just offer it to whatever is making you exist, right? You don't have to believe anything. In fact, Sanatana Dharma says belief is useless. And that is something that I was sharing with somebody when we were eating. What is Jnana? We say Jnana is knowledge, right? What is Jnana? So we can get it from a book. We can get it from YouTube podcasts. These are tons. WhatsApp. Be careful what you believe there. People like me who basically know very little. Whatever little I'm trying to share, there's so much more I don't know. So what we try to get from external sources, you know what Isha Upanishad says it is? It calls it avidya, including meditation, including puja, including homas, including bhajans. It says all this is avidya, means ignorance. I'm like, wait a minute. I'm taught to do all these things. It says it is avidya, relatively speaking. It is a step. A bus takes you to a destination. Bus is not the destination. So meditation is just the bus, is the medium. Meditation is not it. Meditation will give experiences that quiet you within and those inner experiences. That is the destination. Practice is not the destination, it's the journey, right? So the key is to distinguish between the two and live with that awareness. Okay? So karma phala tyaga allows us to give up any punya that you do, give up any papa that you do. Right? I'm a man. I have man emotions because I'm born with a man. Like I always say, I'm driving a male body. That's what I am. But as a soul, I have no gender. No gender. The minute I open my eyes, I'm male. The minute you open your eyes, you're female. If you sit in meditation, I want to ask the question. After 1.5 hours of meditation, you don't even feel your body. Forget gender. Where does gender feelings come from? We transcend all these in meditation. If you're not, that means we need to make more effort. Some people ask me, I'm not able to meditate. What do we do? It's basically food. Start with food. Start with sleep. Start with thoughts. What kind of thoughts? What are your drivers? Who are you? What do you aspire for? If you write all of those on paper, automatically quietude comes. Because you clearly see these are the 40 things I care about. When you care about 40 things, meditation is the last thing on your mind. When you sit there, those 40 things keep coming, right? So one way to improve focus during meditation or Dhyana, as we call it, or Dharma rather, so we can concentrate on one thing, is figuring out how many directions that my mind is wandering, right? Each of us have different directions because we have dharmas, right? You know, I have obligation towards 2 of my kids are in college. Those bills remind me every semester. Okay. And otherwise, something my wife says, okay, what about this? Did you order? Did you repair that? Right? There's constantly something, work, the constant drivers. So if you write them down, what can you control? What can you not control? Anyway, the key point here is that sloka literally ties the entire Bhagavad Gita. There's another sloka similar to that, but without going too deep. The important part is whatever we do, don't do it mechanically. Even when you're driving, don't get lost in thoughts. Do it with Trikarnasruti. When you're doing puja, do it with Trikarnasruti. When you're working, it doesn't matter how your boss is. It doesn't matter whether they give you your deserved bonus or not. It is your dharma. You have to do your part very sincerely without cutting corners. Otherwise, karma accumulates. It's called agami karma. Prarabdha karma brought us here into this male, female, whatever bodies, into Ashburn, right? It's not random reason why we are in Ashburn today. It's all well decided by us. It's all happening because this is the plan that we made. Whether you know it or not, whether we believe it or not, we all chose what will happen to us as part of the Prarabdha karma. We all chose and came here. Now, going to the last topic of what Anil sir said, where does Sewa help? Can anyone tell me how and why Sewa can help us in the spiritual progress?
Because you are not expecting the result, right? I mean, you are not getting any money or anything.
I'll give an example. Yes, true. You're not getting anything, but you get instructions. Somebody comes and says, hey, do this. You're a volunteer. It's like, kya bol rahe tu, right? Where immediately we get ticked off because not everybody, that's a test. And somebody takes food, like we do homeless service. I used to do a lot more frequently. Every second, third Saturday, the Sai Center here does homeless feeding in DC to about 20 or so parks. You go about 300-400 people are fed. If you're interested, reach me. I can give you the contact. You can contribute. But the point is, when we go there, some people are so grateful. They come, can I get a hug? Because in the winter, they're bleeding in their knuckles because of the cold. They're homeless, right? And you give them a hot meal on Sunday at 10, 11 a.m. It's like heaven for them. There's some people come give you a hug. Some people come and yell. They're like, oh, there's no chicken in this. I'm not going to take this, right? First of all, what do you feel? First of all, you're homeless, you're a beggar. If I have those thoughts, I am falling. He won't fall. So Seva is the hardest thing. Because in Seva, the I don't exist. Surabhi doesn't exist. Savita doesn't exist. Anil doesn't exist. Only you become an extension of the divine. That is the ultimate Seva. And in that, I can assure you, I've failed so many times, but thanks to Swamiji's grace, I've been slowly succeeding now. I can say that. But that's decades of failing and struggling and succeeding. Basically, anytime we do Ganesh Chaturthi in our community, Jitendra, Lakshmi, Anil, Bharti. I mean, in fact, this is probably the core team that, every year we do for 3 days. We put the, pandal and we do it for 3 days. There's so much that goes into it. If you're expecting something at the end of it, what happened? If you're doing it just because it needs to be done, because the puja that we're doing is not just for myself, not just for the community. That mantra, like Swamiji says, stays in the stratosphere for 40 years. Any mantra that you do stays for 40 years. Do you know that? Mantra is a vibration. Even if you do internally. In Lalita Sahasranama, there are 4 words. Para, Pashyanti, Madhyama, Vaikhari. The 4 forms of speech. Vaikhari is what comes out that I'm speaking. Madhyama is what is, unless there's a trigger here, you won't come here. So something is taking off here. And my subconscious, my past lives, my tendencies, para is the divine inspiration. But ultimately what is coming out is Vaikhari. Without divine rays, I can't even speak. Okay, the point I'm trying to raise here is, we exist because we are given certain capabilities. And if we can utilize them in whatever we do, with 100% focus, with 100% knowledge, with 100% awareness, and like Ishopanishad says, this puja is avidya, is ignorance. Because you're praying to a photo, you're praying to a stone from a physical perspective, right? But it is energized with something deeper, something bigger, something grander, something more infinite. When you're connecting to that, that happens because of Gyana, not because of the photo. It's the emotion that we have, it's the intent that we have, right? So Trikarna Shuddhi is the intent with which you act every day. And if we treat everything we do as service to the divine, that is something that I learned after many, many decades of failures. And it's a constant practice. Like somebody said, like Sundarji said, it's not just today, I did the satsang, I didn't expect anything, I'm good. It's not done. Next minute something happens. Somebody calls, asks for something. I'm struggling, can you give me 10,000? It's like, what is an immediate reaction? Will you think that they are your extended family, born to the same divine mother, or you're like, you know what? I have bills to pay, I have kids to, help. Are we finding 20 excuses? And that 10,000 can literally save a life. These are choices that come in front of us. These are also tests. So treat everything you do as a service, as an offering to the divine. That is the inner essence of service that I've learned. That will not happen unless we have abhyasa, which is practice, jnana, which is awareness and knowledge, dhyana, 100% focus, and a sense of complete surrender, which is karma, phala, tyaga. All the karmas I have, doing tyaga. Ishopanishad says, all these are avidya. The only vidya it believes is prajnanam brahma. That means whatever I realize within myself is the only jnana. Whatever you see with your inner eye, with your own third eye, is jnana. So until then, these are all little steps along the way. This is not the jnana. So what you have heard from me is not jnana according to Ishopanishad or all the Upanishads. Prajnanam Brahma. Prajnana means your jnana that comes internally, which is what Rishis gave, right? Rishis had the jnana, they gave it all that is compiled into Vedas. Okay? So I hope this made some sense to all of you, less confusion. Thank you so much for the opportunity. So I will not bother all of you with my limited understanding of the world. Thank you, Anil, for the opportunity.
Extreme wisdom. So true, right? It's about Sewa, it's about how we need to bring everything together. And that's what the society is all about. What do we do is how do we extend our hand, help our hand, provide that peace, happiness, and what is needed to make everyone's life happier. Once again, thank you, Praveen sir, for giving back. He's available. Okay. So we can reach out to him anytime. He's just my neighbor. So I can reach out to him anytime. He's accessible. if you cannot, so if you have any questions, so feel free to let us know and then we can connect with him and take.
I just recently was listening to something and they said, when I say I'm donating something, I'm giving myself a higher authority that I'm very high. Dan versus Sewa. So when I say Dan, donation, then, oh, I'm something that I'm donating. No, always think of it that you're saying, doing Sewa, that universe has given you an opportunity to help someone. And when you say Sewa, your ego is already coming down. There's two very similar words, but makes a lot of difference in your thinking and what energies you're receiving. Money, X amount you're doing, both conditions, but just the one word makes a whole lot of difference.
Can I add to that real quick? It's a beautiful point because very simple example, right?
Yes.
I was talking to this gentleman. What's your name again, sir?
Uchibabu.
Buchibabu. Yeah. Talking to Buchibabu. When we sleep, or even now, are you telling your heart beat 60 times an hour or minute, whatever? Or are you telling your brain? Brain also has rhythm, right? Breath has a rhythm. Are you telling your lungs to breathe so many times a minute? When there's a little cut, are you talking to your hand and say, by tomorrow morning, all the platelets come and stitch a band-aid? Is it happening automatically? They are happening automatically. When you're eating food, are you saying this food should go help with with this, or so much of the food should go to my heart? Are you talking? No. Because we think this is part of the body, whatever we eat, there's a system that operates. Similarly, in Sanatana Dharma, we have Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. When you treat the whole world as one family, who am I giving to somebody else? It's an extension. Lakshmi is an extension of this entire being that I'm part of. So if I treat Lakshmi, she's my sister from my community, right? If I think I am helping Lakshmi or I'm helping Jitendra, how foolish of me. And that's exactly what Bali Chakravarti did, right? Prahlada's grandson. He thought he was giving Dhyana. So Vishnu came and crushed him. But did he crush him into ignorance and ignominy? No. Bali is the king of what? The third nether world. It's called the most auspicious of the nether worlds. The Sutala Loka, the third world below earth plane is Sutala Loka. And Vishnu says, I myself will stand guardian. He's the guard. He stands guard to Bali because he sacrificed everything away. But he had the sense of I am giving. That I was gone, so there's no difference. Says I will be Kshatrava. I am your devotee now. That's how much God does. You treat everybody as extension. Sorry, I
No,
take more time.
All good points, all good points. So I'll just add one point, right? When you do seva, the way you need to look at it is like you are giving something from your left hand to your right hand. Do you ask for anything? That is how you should look seva. Right? The way the Upanishads what talks about, right? Nakarmana naprajaya danena tyage naike amrutattvam. Tyage naike amrutattvam. So that which you want will only come when you do the Tyaga. Tyaga means you are giving to someone something. Imagine that you're giving from your right hand to your left hand. There is no thank you, there is no appreciation, there is nothing. Because it is all coming to you. Whether you know it or not, it is just turning around. It's just a matter of time. But when the universe gives you, it gives you tenfold. So I was telling yesterday to someone for the pyramid that we are trying to get it, right? So it doesn't have to be like you have to give me like, I give you $500, I give you $100. You can also give $1.
I mean, whatever you have is you're giving.
That's it.
That's it. I mean,
It doesn't,
not about-
I don't want to give because I don't have $10. How many of us don't have $10? It is the intention that carries the result, the intention. So when all of us, like we have 50 of us come and say, okay, each of us will donate $10. How much it's going to be? 50 into 10. Right. So that is what we are talking, right? When something is coming your way, you take that as an opportunity. Don't bypass it. Don't say that, okay, I'm not going to do it. Let me bypass it. Just an example. Like that, there are so many things that are coming. There may be a temple that might be an opportunity for you, right? Don't think twice before you just give. That's it. And leave it. Give and forget about it. Then it all comes back to you. right? So that's what, Praveen sir, beautiful subject, sir. Thank you very much. So before, yeah, go ahead.
So I understand, doing seva and doing it and not focusing on the results, whatnot, doing it in a selfless manner. So one of the lessons that I had to learn a couple of years ago is it's not just about doing seva, it's doing seva that is required for the person you're doing it for, in the manner that they want it, not the way you want it. So the same example of homeless shelters in our area. So during COVID, my daughter, we would watch the news and you see how many people have lost jobs, lost homes, this and that. And the idea came is that when we have our Desi gatherings, we cook so much food, people bring so much stuff, we eat, then we pack boxes, then we have so much leftover that we're eating for a week. Why are we not doing the same thing for these shelters? Why are we not feeding them their, they need it. So then we started cooking food at home in my family. We started cooking and we would cook different things. We would take different food. I took Desi food, I took American food, I took vegetarian food, I took non-veg food. And sometimes my food would be untouched. They wouldn't want to eat it. And many people wouldn't even want to try it. So then I was getting frustrated because it's not easy to cook for 75 people. It's not easy to buy groceries for that many people, particularly during COVID. So I kept talking, and then eventually one of the people working there told me this is what they want to eat. So then I had to make or I had to buy what they wanted to eat, even if I wasn't comfortable with it. So that was my lesson, that is not, I can't cook sattvic food and expect that they're going to eat it. I can't just take vegetarian food. They want meat, that is what they're going to eat. That is their food for them from birth and for generations. However, that is what I have to do.
Maybe, if at all I am that position, I just give the money. If I have $50,
I've given them
I don't need to.
supplies, I've given them pantry items, I have given them whatever they ask for, and then I'll buy what they want. So I told the administrator that, okay, I can't cook chicken in this manner. Can I, then she gave me the idea, go get it from Costco. They have rotisserie chicken, $5.
Basically, it was your emotion that was blocked in that moment. You should have just walked out of it.
Yeah, you don't need to serve them.
You should
It's
have
not
just
your
walked
plate
out
of,
of it, saying that
it's not
this
your,
place does not belong to you.
that seva is
Just
not for
because
you. There
somebody
is,
wants to eat something that is out of the nature, you don't go serve it.
Yeah, plus also, what's the name?
Romila.
Romila. Yeah, so what I would also suggest is, if I have food to give and somebody has questions that they need answered, if I give them food, it will not serve that need, right?
Right,
So always look for what is needed. And
right.
if I have the ability to give there, that's the place for me to go serve.
Yes, sir.
Otherwise, find another place who really need what you're offering. It has to be a matching of both sides.
you
If
don't
you are
need to-
trying, if I have to start cooking chicken, which I don't eat, to serve a homeless shelter, I would rather find some other service to offer, right? So you don't have to, put yourself
Not compel.
Yeah, compel
Not
yourself.
compel yours. That compel happened because you got emotionally connected.
But you can choose another shelter.
I mean-
You should take it happily.
there you are thinking that I just want to donate them food. I just want them to feed. You attach it to that thought.
Right.
You are thinking to let them feed, let them eat. You are attached to that
So
thought.
those are the lessons that I learned,
Yeah,
that
no,
I
that's a
have to
good
give
point.
what
You don't need
they
to-
want.
You don't need to touch that thought. Okay, it's not for me. Let's move on. You are not the one who put them ball, right?
Yeah, sometimes they give advice to our kids for college, right? They don't even pay attention. They're like, you know what? I want to do something else. Or this is not even resonating with me. So we have to learn to back up. As parents, that's the hardest thing for us. Sometimes, similarly in service, sometimes we don't have what it takes to give them what they need. Sometimes it's unreasonable because they make all kinds of comments. When you go homeless feeding, some people, like I said, come and hug you. Some people say all kinds of things, leave my country, blah, blah. You'll hear all kinds of things. But if it deters you from doing seva, that's a test for us. right? So we have to take everything in a kind-hearted way and keep praying for their elevation. That is the key. Yeah, so even if you walk away from there, walk away with the prayer that, hopefully you'll find somebody who can give you what you need.
Yeah.
So you don't have to stay hungry. It's not for me, I'll find some other business. But it's a good point to share.
Good. Yeah, that's correct. All right, folks. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Pravid sir. One more time. Thank you, sir. Great wisdom today. So, thank you very much.
Empty doesn't make noise, so don't be like that.
It is almost 10 o'clock. We want to sit here.
We have a couple more sessions coming up, masters. We have October 24th Diwali celebrations at our place. So please to join us, all of you, every one of you, warm welcome. So it's a yearly event that we do at our place. So please join us. Then 24th Diwali weekend, Saturday, and then November 7th, November 15th, we've got Patriji's celebrations. Event is happening.
So the 24th is a Saturday or Friday, so it will be 25th.
25th, October 25th, Saturday, whenever that Saturday comes.
Thank you.
November 15th, we have an event. There is an event in November 15th, madam, walk-in at mostly event. A whole day event. We are doing a whole day meditation event. Summit kind of thing. Meditation summit. Mini meditation summit. So we also do a little bit of a celebration for Patriji, and then we just come, sit, eat together. We'll have great fun. We're gonna have a hall. We have a couple of halls booked. So we are finalizing that. So we'll let you know.
It is fine.
It is fine. Where is it?
Government center.
Government center is there. Okay, the government sector most likely will be the place, Fairfax.
Because we can just
Right.
simply-
So we'll have that event there. It's a beautiful place. It's about capacity for 100 and 150. They're expecting about 150 to join us for the day. November 15th is a Saturday. Save the date for the block. The event is coming. And then what else? We have December 21st. There is an old meditation day. It's a yoga day. This time we are planning to have about 50,000 participants. Okay, the event is happening in Dallas with 2,500 to 3,000 in person. And then we are organizing across 50 states in US, everyone to join the platform. 50,000 masters, 50,000 participants doing meditation at the same time for 2 hours. This will be a Guinness Book of World Record. That's what we are tracking. So we want every one of us to be there, right? In Dallas, it is in person. For the rest of us, it's all virtual.
So that we can meet and we can do it, or we can do it from our homes.
You can do it from your home. You get a Zoom link.
Okay, that's.
So the plan is just kicking off. December 21st, lock the date.
So we should set out these dates in our.
Yes, we will. Next week, next Wednesday.
Like setting aside that time. I need to show you something. That's what.
Okay.
So as you come on.
Yes, I got it actually. That's not about us.
So did I.
You did?
Yeah. So I was.
You checked that?
Last year.
For last year, 2024. Just go put your SSN date. The date is gonna end, right? Just
It's because I can't make something to because it's one of I just got to check and with the letter saying that, Dr. Diana.
Tax is already, right?
There are taxes, we have some choice.
I always. So for the hall, madam. Get some appointments.
Yeah, I spoke. No, the mic system, I just want to refer out to that.
Okay.
Yeah, so we got I didn't combine one place. Yeah. Chairs the way you want. The two that they. Yeah. And the party is. And the attitude is not.
Just one is